What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to JG's Lounge. This is just, I don't know, it's just such a chilling platform, man. Just come here, relax with people like Sean here. Sean, how the hell are you, man?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. You were just saying that you've been doing some ASMR and fucking meditation, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. I decided that I needed a little change, man, because like life was getting really hectic, and I needed to slow it down for a moment.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that was a perfect way to do it.
Yeah, you hit the ground running and you get excited at getting into stuff, and then there's a point where like, man, I have to step back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not just like the podcasting, man. It's just everything I'm doing. Like first Monday of every month, I go talk to people that are first time DUI offenders, and stress the importance of not drinking and driving. And then, I do my regular stuff during the week, taking care of the kids, making sure they're good, doing the podcast. I have two meetings I hold a week for veterans. So like everything, it's just like, I felt like I was boxed in this cube, and I was like, something needs to give. And so, yeah.
Damn, man. Yeah, I get it. I get busy too, man. That's why I have this. This is my escape.
Yeah.
I used to like astral project when I was younger.
Woo.
That was something I did when I was like 19 and 20. It was a lot of fun, but I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about astral projection, man. I've watched too many of the Insidious movies. Fuck that.
It's funny because like anybody who's done like paranormal stuff or anything that is familiar with it. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Wilfredo? How you doing, man? How you doing, dude? It's just there's a lot of like truth behind some of the Insidious stuff, but then they twist it and make it sound ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's a lot of spirits trying to get into your body.
Yeah.
You never know who you're going to get. It's like life is like a box of chocolates.
Since we're going into October, we're talking about scary shit. Are there any scary movies that you actually really enjoy?
Oh, I love scary movies. They're my favorite. Like horror is my favorite genre of movies. I like gory movies. Mm-hmm. Terrifier is my favorite gory movie. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have not seen Terrifier. I love gore though. I do love gore.
That's one you got to check out. It's very low budget, like very, very low budget. Right. And it's about this clown that lures people into like secluded buildings and like butchers them. So like one of the scenes, like he's a Pierrot, right? So he doesn't talk. Uh-huh. And so one of the scenes, he abducted a woman. He's got her sitting in this chair all tied up, and he's got this like trash bag full of like goodies, and he starts pulling them out. One's like a chain. Yeah. And he acts like he's gonna hit her with it, and she like winces, and he starts laughing, doing the whole laughing thing. He puts it away. He grabs a hammer, acts like he's gonna hit her. She winces. He's like, nah, and he starts laughing again. He grabs a hacksaw and like looks at it, and there's a curtain in front of her, and he goes up to the curtain and does a ta-da thing, and nothing happens. He does it again, nothing happens, and he like scratches his head with the hacksaw, and he pulls it down, and it's her friend upside down, and he just starts sawing right through her, man. Like half, like cuts her in half all the way down.
That sounds rough.
Yeah, dude, it was pretty gnarly, dude.
You ever see a Bone Tomahawk?
No.
Dude, they like these guys get kidnapped by Native Americans. It's like a Western horror. Mm-hmm. And they're I can't remember who the actors are. Fuck. Anyways, they're trapped in this cave, and this dude has one of them and pulls them out and hangs them upside down and stretches their legs and pulls out this tomahawk and just starts splitting the dude down the middle with this tomahawk.
Yo, that's gnarly.
And that's rough. You want to talk about some gore? That's what that reminds me of.
I mean, I got into the conversation of gore on my live last night on TikTok, and people are like, oh, Saw, and I'm like, Saw's not shit. Like when you watch some of these other movies like Green Inferno, Saw ain't shit.
Green Inferno is rough too, man.
I got through the first like 20 or 30 minutes of it, and I couldn't finish it.
I watched the whole thing, and I've almost like like I had people over. I'm like, hey, we should watch this, and then I almost click on it. And I'm like, I don't know if I can watch it again. It's so bad.
I got to the eye part and I was like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Eye stuff for me just.
See, for my wife, it's kids. Anything to do with children that messes with her. And so, that's understandable.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen The Bay?
The Bay. It sounds familiar. I haven't seen it.
So The Bay is probably my favorite, like, realistic films, like horror films. Like, it's this town in Maine that's celebrating 4th of July, and they're known for their chicken farms. But all, like, the chicken shit goes into the bay. Well, this parasite comes out of the bay and through the water and, like, is infecting people. And, like, over, like, the period of a weekend, the whole town is dead from this parasite eating them from the inside out. Just from drinking the water or swimming in the water.
That's gnarly.
Oh, yeah. I highly recommend it.
My favorite realistic one would have to be Hellfest.
Is that shit? I think I've seen it. Is that where they're like at a theme park and they just it's a slasher kind of thing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love it so much because one, it's pretty brutal, right? And it's a concept that like could really happen. Mm-hmm. And two, you don't know who the killer is. Period. Mm-hmm. At the end of the movie, it leaves you hanging, and it's like, okay, is there going to be another one? No, there's no other one.
And see, I remember having this discussion. I don't know if it was on the show or not. Somebody talking about if I was going to kill somebody, I would do it in a large group of people where there's fingerprints everywhere, a huge crowd of people, and you could just get away with it with doing something simple, like just stabbing them in the side with some broken glass or something and just leaving them.
Very innovative. I've never thought about that, but very innovative.
Yeah, I mean, it was a weird conversation, but it makes you think about
it. Yeah. I'm really excited for. There's 3 movies that are coming out and that I'm really excited for. Halloween Ends.
I didn't see the most recent one.
Oh, you haven't seen Halloween Kills?
Mm-mm.
I thought it was good. The only thing I didn't
Kevin
like
from the Randomness podcast. Sorry, Kevin, I butchered it. Said tortured death on the show Vikings is pretty brutal. Blood Eagle.
Blood Eagle. Blood Eagle. That I love Blood Eagle. Do you know the Blood Eagle?
No.
Ooh. You want me to describe it or leave it alone?
Go ahead. Give me like a trailer, an audio trailer.
Okay. All right. So essentially what happens is it's a Viking ritual for traitors, right? Mm-hmm. And so like if you've committed treason against your king, you get the Blood Eagle or the village Jarl, you get it. And Vikings, I think there's 2 of them. So essentially you kneel down, you're stripped of your shirt, you kneel down, you hold 2 posts, and they take a heated blade and they run it down your spine so it opens up the skin. And then they cut it open so it reveals your back. They crack the rib cage, open it up, dig inside, grab your lungs, rip them out, and put them on top of your shoulder like an eagle. Now, if you scream or you make any noise, you don't go to Valhalla. You go to hell. So you don't get the honorable death.
Damn, that's rough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's rough. Yeah. So is that a movie or
it's a show? It's a show. It was on the History Channel.
They had a show called, and this is totally separate, but called Hellevator. You ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
And basically, groups of people would take turns. There'd be several floors, and the elevator would drop one person from the team off on each floor, and they had to make it through the floor without giving up.
Mm.
And then, however many made it, that's how much money they got at the end. But you don't know who all made it until the end. So each floor, one person gets off.
Oh, nice.
And it's just horror shit. Like each one's themed. And my wife and I watched that, and it was on fucking Hulu, and then just disappeared.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Damn.
Well, that was good.
No. So Halloween Kills was good. The only thing I didn't like about it was when they finally realized, because it's literally like 24 hours within Halloween 2018, right? So it happened directly afterwards. And everybody in the town's in a frenzy. They say, you know, evil dies tonight, and that's the chant through the whole fucking movie, man. I was like, come on, dude. Come on. You're not gonna you're not gonna no mortal is gonna kill Michael Myers, let's be real.
Right.
Here.
Right.
And two, that chant's annoying as fuck. It was good though. It was good. It was good. There was a very surprise ending.
You said you didn't like Barbarian?
No.
Dude. I was torn. I definitely didn't like it. Yeah. But I didn't think it was the worst because they didn't really tell you anything in the trailer.
Yeah.
But the whole concept was terrible. It definitely could have been played out a lot better. I mean, I think that the plot could have been made a hella good. Yeah. Like, if you wouldn't have had Justin Long in there, for one, you throw Justin Long in anything, you run the damn film anyways.
Yeah. Well, so he was good in Jeepers Creepers, which made me think, okay, it's going to be a good movie.
But after you see him die in Jeepers Creepers, and then if you watch, I don't know if you've seen Husk, but it's a terrible movie. Husk was
heard about it. I've heard about it.
He turned into a walrus. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Justin Long is either Jeepers Creepers or Accepted.
Yeah. 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 Very true. What I didn't like about it was that they jumped back and forth in the timeline so much, right?
Right.
So like you had the initial character and Bill Skarsgård, both, you know, interacting, and then they jumped to Justin Long, and you're like, okay, well, is this modern? Is this like a few days past? What? And then you jump 40 years in the past,
right?
And they don't tell you.
No, you got to figure it out on your own.
Yeah. Well, that and then they make Ronald Reagan references, and I'm like, okay, we're 40 years in the past.
Yeah.
And then they jump back.
Yep, they just jump around, and they don't even tell you they're doing it. You just
no. The one surprise that was in it that I was like, okay, was Richard Brake. I absolutely adore Richard Brake.
Was he the old man that moved in originally? Yeah, he's good. He plays his characters in every movie are so intense.
Yeah, and he was the Night King in Game of Thrones.
Right. Yep.
I had never known that until I looked up, you know, cast of fucking Game of Thrones, and he pops in there. I was like, no way.
He always plays intense roles, but he's never been like I've never seen him as the good guy in anything he's played in.
No. He was great in 3 from Hell. I loved it.
I have seen 3 from Hell. I haven't seen. Has it been? It's been out for a little while though.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck! I can't remember. What was it about?
It was the three main characters from House of a Thousand Corpses and from Devil's Rejects.
It was a Rob Zombie, right? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But they replaced the clown with Richard Brake because he ended up dying. Captain Spaulding.
Right.
He ended up dying in real life, so they had to replace him.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I really want to kind of get into the topic for tonight because I mean it is kind of horror related, but phobias. Am I cutting in and out, or are you?
Alaska internet, dude.
We'll just blame it on both of our internets because mine's like glitchy as fuck right now. Is mine flashing at all?
Alaska internet, bro. No, I'm seeing you great.
Sweet. We're just gonna keep rolling then. For phobias, though, like there's so many fears out there these days. Are you scared of anything in particular, or something weird?
Yeah. Actually,
what are you scared of, and why?
I have an unhealthy fear of the woods at night.
Really?
Yes. Which is weird because my job when I was in the Army required me to be in the woods at night.
No shit.
Fucking
terrified
of it.
That's probably a good reason.
There's a few reasons. So the first one is I grew up 15 minutes from where the Blair Witch Project was filmed.
Okay.
So that movie is set in the woods, and all the scary shit happens at night. Mm-hmm. I grew up in the backwoods of Maryland, so you hear all the creepy shit at nighttime.
Right.
And yeah, man. So like, growing up around that area, I was, I frequently went past the Burkittsville sign that's in the movie all the time.
Mhm.
And so that kind of like set an unhealthy fear for me. And some happened when I was a kid, about 16 years old, which really kind of amplified it. And then when I joined the Army, my first duty station was in Italy. And so we couldn't necessarily do a lot of training in the woods because the Italian government would not allow us to. So we had to go to Germany for it.
Okay.
Germany, dude. Germany's haunted in its own. Like, so walking around doing land navigation at night with a full moon reflecting out, and you're walking down a road and nothing but woods on both sides, your brain fucking plays tricks on you.
Oh yeah, dude.
And it was either playing tricks on me or I was really seeing shit. I don't know.
I had to, when I was 12 years old, my stepdad shot my best friend in the face. It was a dog.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, I remember something like that.
Yeah, man. And I had to bury him in the woods late at night behind the house, dude.
Mm.
I was upset, but man, it was fucking terrifying. It was going out into the middle of the fucking woods at night to bury a dog. Not only was the dog creepy as fuck, but that too, man. It was like just a feeling of being watched, or every noise that you hear, even the silence is scary. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's like soup. Like for me, it was really, really unhealthy because it got to a point where, like, if I had to choose to walk, next to the woods on a sidewalk, a fully lit sidewalk, or a road, I'm walking on the opposite side of the road, right?
Right.
Because that's just how much it terrified me. And now I live in a place where there's a lot of woods. Not necessarily around me, but I have to drive through them.
Right. I mean, it's Alaska, man. If you're not in the city, it's all woods, right?
Yeah. You've got if you want to go from one city to another, one city to a town, like you're driving through woods. So it's yeah.
And it's funny because in Kansas we have trees, but they're not anything impressive. You get out in Western, up in the mountains and stuff, you got these tall trees that are like all bunched up next to each other. They're just like sky's the limit almost because they're so tall. That's scary shit, man, especially at night. I've camped in them at night.
Yeah, fuck that. I have another fear, and that's water that goes above my chest, like right there.
Is there a reason?
Yeah. So when I was a kid, I was like 2 or 3. My mom took us to like the community pool, and they were cleaning it. They were skimming it. It was about the time when they had the old hard plastic floaties, the ones that just like secured around your waist. And so she was like, "Don't go in." She turned her back, and I jumped head first in.
Yeah.
And nobody was paying attention, and I stopped kicking.
Damn.
Yeah. And they pulled me out, brought me back to life. And I had this repressed memory for my whole life. So I could, later on when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old, I could swim perfectly. 10, 11, 12, I could swim perfectly in a pool deep end. I could go down, touch the bottom, whatever. I don't know what happened. Something unlocked that memory, and I've just been terrified ever since. Like, you put me in a fucking pool, man, that's like 3 feet, I'm fine. You put me in anything like 5 feet and above, no, fam. We're good.
No, damn, man. Yeah, I'm not that. I don't like water that I can't see, like lakes. I'm fine with swimming in them if I'm with a group of people. Mostly because the odds of me being picked, if there is something in there, are a lot slimmer. But it's like you don't know what's in that water, man. You don't know what's in there.
Yeah, dude. And like on top of that, man, like the water is super unknown, right? So we've only explored part of the ocean. We don't know exactly what's at the bottom of the ocean.
Exactly, because we don't have anything strong enough to go down there.
Yeah. So. Have you seen Underwater with Kristen Stewart?
Dude, I loved it. I loved it. My wife wasn't into it, but I've watched it twice.
I hate Kristen Stewart as an actress, but that movie was fucking awesome.
Just the idea that could totally be realistic and nobody knows. Like, we don't know. None of us know.
Yeah. Do you know what that monster was under there?
No.
It's Cthulhu.
Nothing.
Yeah. You've never heard of Cthulhu?
I've heard of him, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, Cthulhu is a Lovecraft creation, and essentially he's the god of underwater. And he has all his little minions that hide underneath his tentacles, and then when he goes to attack, he releases them, and then he just crushes everything in sight. So yeah, when they showed the explosions underwater and there was that outline of him, I was like,
yeah,
it's fucking Cthulhu.
Yeah, man, that would be. I don't think I could do it, man. I don't care how much you paid me. I ain't going down that far.
Nope. I would submit to the underwater gods. I just say, you know what? Fuck it.
Just slip me open and kill me now, bro. I'm good.
Smite me, oh mighty smiter.
Dude. So my biggest fear is dolls. It's called like pediophobia or some shit like that. It's and not like the Barbie dolls and the stupid rag dolls and shit like that. The life-size, realistic-looking porcelain dolls.
Yeah.
My great grandma, dude, we used to go to Utah and visit her every summer, and she had these dolls literally everywhere in her house, everywhere. And she had Alzheimer's, and every 5 minutes she'd ask you who you were, but she had names for every doll. She'd bathe them. She'd argue with them at 3 a.m. You'd wake up to her walking in the hallways, arguing with these dolls. She'd bathe with them and have conversations with them. She knew all their names. It was the creepiest shit for years. And to this day, man, I just don't like them. I can't fucking. It's terrifying.
That is things that nightmares are made of, bro.
Dude, dead serious, man. And my grandma, her daughter inherited a lot of them. And I was still as a kid, we'd go there and like her guest bedroom would be in there. But now I'm sleeping on the couch. I'm not sleeping in there. No. They were all like lining the bed, like facing the bed. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Fuck you, Satan.
Terrified of dolls to this day, man. I don't like them. My wife talks to me all the time.
So can you watch like videos where people are investigating dolls, like paranormal videos?
It's only when I'm in person with them, man. There's just like I get this vibe. Like if we go to like a thrift store and they're there, it just creeps me out. If I see them in the house, it just makes me feel off, man. It's my great grandma's fault, man. Her having those conversations just scarred me, man, because they were so like deep. I remember her having like the most intense arguments with them. Dressing them, she'd get mad if you touched them. I mean,
have you ever seen one of them move on its own?
I have.
Yeah, I was waiting for it.
She had a room, and they were all lined up in a room, and there was one doll. Which is the funniest part of this story is that this was a rag doll. And it would move places. So me and my cousins would have, sleepovers there, and we'd play hide and seek or shit. And we would all go hide in that room because there's plenty of places to hide. But that doll would always turn, like it would be facing different or in a different like location from the other dolls. And we all just swear it was, either my grandma went in there while we were playing hide and seek and was just randomly swapping it, or it was fucking with us. Or the other dolls were fucking with me and they were moving it. I don't know, man. It was a crazy shit, dude.
I just envisioned. Okay, have you seen It Chapter 2?
Yeah, I've seen both.
Okay, so you remember when she goes in when the Bev goes into the house that she grew up in, like the apartment. There's that old lady, and she's in the background. She's like, I just envisioned your grandma doing that shit, just room to room.
Oh man, not scary shit though, man. It's honestly those dolls terrified me, and even to this day, I don't know if they moved it or not, but like just the fact that she had conversations with them and couldn't remember who we were, just scary.
Yeah. No, and that I don't have a porcelain doll in my house, and if there would be one in my house, I probably would fucking burn it.
Right, and it's not just it's not. They don't even have to be dolls. I mean, even the clowns that look realistic, as long like it's just the realistic doll form of anything scares me. I wouldn't even say scares. It just makes me uneasy and not want to be around them.
Yeah, no. Fuck that.
My daughter has like 3, but they're rag dolls or like fake, clearly not real dolls. And I mean, do you think that energies can possess things like that? Because in my opinion, I don't necessarily think that they would possess the actual form of the doll, but maybe use it to get through.
Yeah, like an energy contained within.
Yeah,
I believe that. I don't think that it would possess like a doll, like per se. Like the doll stands up, is like, "Hey, I'm fucking Satan." You know what I mean? Like that would be some
Chucky
shit.
style, running around just slashing everybody.
Yeah. But I mean, if we're talking the concept of energies have some place to go, right? Like it just cannot be contained. An object at motion stays in motion, right?
Which there's another. So one theory that I have on energies is that like if something very intense has happened or things that are intense happened over time, the energy in that area does grow. It builds an energy, and I feel like that not necessarily the energies are trapped there, but energies project themselves through the memories that are in that area.
Yeah.
So like if you go to a haunted house, is there an energy that possesses that house? I don't necessarily believe that that's true. I just think that the energy uses that energy to project itself. So like things that have happened in the past in that area is how it projects itself.
Yeah. Yeah. I have another weird fear. Like I fuck around. I have a spirit box app on my phone, like an Ovilus.
Right on. Yeah.
It's called Spirit Talker, right?
Okay.
And so like it generates words in the atmosphere and pops up on your phone in a weird voice.
Oh,
It's always the same. Do you want the real answer? Oh, Jesus.
Bring it on, Daniel. Bring it on.
Yes. My fear, and it partially came true. I had it on one night. I was watching something on TV. I had it running one night. And like, I shit you not, dude, the first word that came out of it was my name, spelled correctly. It said Sean. And I was like, the fuck? Right? My second fear, and this is like, it's going to tell me something that like, it's like, you fuck this chick. And I'm like,
it knows.
It know you've been with
you're glitching,
life. Man. Stop telling us. Yeah, it's the last internet, man. Fucking bullshit.
Spirits are everywhere. They're not just see, and that's how I feel. I don't think there's not a specific energy trapped in a specific location. I agree. I totally agree.
I mean, my house has some weird shit that happens in it. I wouldn't say that it's like paranormal. Well, I mean, I would say it's paranormal, but I wouldn't say like it's a haunted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spirit medium Daniel says it spoke whole sentences, not just words.
Yeah. I've gotten sentences too. I'd have to pull my bank up and like look at it, but I've had sentences come through.
I pull up. Good.
I was gonna say I don't think that necessarily that my house is like haunted. I think that things just pass through, and I just so happen to feel an energy passing through or see something weird.
I did find the top 10 phobias in the U.S. And number 1 is arachnophobia, which is the spiders. Yeah. And I guess I've never been worried about spiders; they never bug me. But I guess I get it. Depending on the spider and what location in the U.S. you're in, there's some fucking creepy ass spiders out there. But
yeah, black widows, man, fuck that.
But like, you have to actually mess. Like, you would literally have to fuck with them for them to actually hurt you. I mean, like, the only fear that I have with spiders is if I like putting shoes on.
Oh yeah,
if they're old shoes that I haven't worn in a while, I'll like put them upside down and beat them before I put them on to make sure there's nothing in them. Only because I'm going to scare the shit out of that spider. It is going to bite me.
Right. Get out of here.
Who is this? Are you referring to me or are you referring to Sean?
If I have a dog spit.
Yeah. I mean, I told you that story about my dog. I mean, that was a pretty intense story for me. Something kind of spiritual did happen to me with him, and that's when the religious side of me happened. Did I tell you what happened?
Yeah.
He said you have a spirit dog that frequently visits your house. That's good to know.
No, it is. It's good. Come here, Doge. Come here. It's probably like why my dog doesn't like me.
What? Because of the other dog?
Yeah,
that makes sense. Social phobia is number 2. Yeah, I've actually met. We have some friends that are podcasters that have a fear of reaching out to other people.
Mm-hmm. Or being around other people too.
Is it? I mean, I don't know. Like, are they worried about being let down? I mean, or that they're gonna embarrass themselves, or what? I don't give a shit. In my opinion, I'm an idiot, and I do stupid shit all the time. I don't care.
I think it has to do with like the fear of like other people, like not necessarily letting them down or saying the wrong thing, but like the what ifs.
Right.
You go into a super shooter, or like you go into like an out. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're just cutting in and out.
I hate Alaska internet.
It's all Christ. Good, bro. I can hear you.
So it could also be like the fear of like being in a big crowd of people where it's completely unknown, but people fill their heads with what ifs, and when those what ifs start playing, then like literally you open yourself up to any possibility.
You can't live off what ifs, though, man.
No.
What if a fucking meteor came and just blew up the earth? Then we're all
right.
Dead. Yeah, it could happen.
Absolutely.
The next one is aerophobia, which is the fear of flying. I get that. I mean, the takeoff and the landing are rough, but again, I'm not scared of death. I'm not scared of death. There's so much worse things than death. Are you? I mean, that is one of the top 10 actually. It's the necrophobia, the fear of death.
Well, I think for me, the fear of death is a little bit more than I'm going to die. It's more of leaving my loved ones behind. Like, I don't care what happens to me. It's more of leaving my loved ones behind.
I mean, we all die though, man. I mean, they're gonna die.
Yeah.
Eventually. Yeah. Everybody dies. But do we die really? No. Our physical forms die, but we continue.
Yeah.
And actually, Spirit Medium Daniel told me once that, when we come back, that we stay within the same family. Which is, that's interesting to me. I love that concept. Like, if you're gonna, for people who don't believe in reincarnation, whatever, there you go. He said, "Don't be afraid. You're not leaving them behind. You'll see them again." Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it's a real thing because we all know it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
I just hope that I die before they do.
Yeah. If I had the possibility to know when I died, I wouldn't want to know.
I wouldn't either.
Because I'll try to prevent that shit.
Well, that's costs. Just like, do I want to know? Like, if I had the opportunity of knowing how or when, I wouldn't want to know. No. Are there people who are trying to reach out to me? Honestly, I don't want to know because that's going to open a whole nother thing for me.
Oh yeah, dude, and like so, I made a funny joke, but it kind of really stuck in my head. So I got my retired ID, and retired ID has an expiration date on it. That's my fucking life. Anyways, the expiration date is in 2053.
Right.
And I'm like, instead of like a handful of years, it's in 2053. I'm like, are you motherfuckers trying to tell me I'm going to die in 2053? And you're just, you know something I don't know?
You know how many doomsdays we've had, man, that didn't happen?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dude,
it fucked with me a little bit, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean.
Now. Yeah. It's like, is this really when I'm going to die? Or are they just playing games with me?
Honestly, if I make it past 60, I'm fine with just, whatever. It's fine. 60 is a good age. Good age. Spirit Medium Daniel, you're getting close to there, man.
You're almost there, man.
Such a great guy, though. You're such a good guy, dude. Next one is agoraphobia, open or public spaces, which kind of plays in line with the social, situations. But open places don't, I don't know, man. I've never had these issues. I haven't. I've never had issues being social, so I don't understand. That's the biggest thing for me. Like, people with the anxiety and stress and some of the things that you have that I've never experienced. I know that they exist, but I'm terrible when it comes to trying to help somebody when they're having issues because it's like I don't understand it, and I don't want to pretend like I do. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, that's how it was with my wife. Like when I first met my wife, she was like, "I have real bad anxiety getting into places. I have panic attacks," and I was like, "Okay, whatever, you know." And then like we went out to Walmart one time, and she had a panic attack in the middle of Walmart, and I was like, "The fuck?"
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't compute with me, and I got pissed. But now we've been together for a while, and I actually can understand, like, you know, I don't understand what goes through her brain, but I understand it's a completely real possibility that she'll have a panic attack.
Yeah. Oh, Daniel, I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna go come find you. I'm gonna be in your neighborhood that week, and I'll be there for your birthday. And we're gonna hang out. I'm gonna make sure it happens. I'll help you. That's why we were supposed to meet. Actually.
Right? It was weird. I was looking at.
What are you looking at?
I was looking at his picture when it popped up in, you know, with the comment, and his picture, it looked like he blinked, like out of my peripheral, it looked like it blinked, and I was like, "Oh, what?"
Oh man!
It squeezed me. Is he watching me through my computer?
So here's one that a lot of people have fear of is acrophobia, or the fear of heights.
I had that too.
I'm not. I think that's a one way. If I'm gonna die, I want it to be instant. And heights don't really scare me unless I'm at a level where I know I'm gonna die. Then it's like, at least I know if I fall off this, I'm dead when I hit on impact. You know.
Yeah. Well, for me, it wasn't necessarily the fear of heights; it was the fear of falling. Because my job, I was a paratrooper. I jumped out of planes.
He said maybe he is winking at you.
Oh no!
You said
no.
Jumping out of planes. You said.
Yeah. So I was a paratrooper. I used to jump out of planes, and for me, like the things that ran through my mind prior to like jumping out, right? So I'd be like, okay, is my chute gonna deploy? If that doesn't, is my main gonna deploy? Am I gonna hit the ground?
Like, I'm 6'5". It's scary up here, man.
I bet it is. How's the weather up there, man?
And who is this? Who is Facebook user?
Who are you?
Continue. Yeah, your chute not open.
Yeah. And then the doors open up, right? They open the doors up 10 minutes prior. They open up the doors, and then you really get to look out. You're like, fuck me, right? And then if you're number one jumper at the door, you stare. You're like right there in the door for a minute looking out. No, 30 seconds. You're looking out.
It's my buddy.
Hello. And so that, like, you're standing there and you're staring out and you're looking, and then they say go, and you follow the man behind you after, you know, if you're everybody after one. And I always close my eyes. Once I hit that door and I made that right hand turn and I was coming out, I closed my eyes, dude, because I knew, like, I'm stepping out. Wind is gonna pull me, and if my chute opens up, cool. If not, look out ground, because I'm coming fucking through.
You ever hear the joke? What's the last thing that goes through a bee's mind when it hits the windshield of your car? Mm-hmm. It's ass.
Oh man.
Similar situation, my friend.
Yeah, and like one of the other like things is they tell you the horror stories when you're going through like all these things, and they prepare you for the worst, which, I mean, good on them. But it's like you jump out and they have a thing called a towed parachute. So like if your static line gets wrapped around your arm's kind of just dangling there, and you're hitting the side of the plane.
Uh-huh.
But they don't tell you is that you run the risk of like your arm ripping off.
Okay.
And so like that happened to a guy up here. He was a towed parachutist. He fucking hit the side of the plane, came out. When he did, his arm just detached from the elbow up.
Ugh. And then you're falling that way too.
Yeah, a medic found his arm.
No shit.
Yeah.
Damn. How? Yeah, I mean, when you're falling, is it cold?
It's just a lot of noise, right? Yeah. The first time I jumped out, man, in airborne school, I was coming down and I was like, "Fuck!" fuck. I screamed fuck the whole way down, even in the landing. And my next jump, they were like, who was screaming like a little bitch? And I was like, that was me.
Yeah.
They're like, don't fucking do that again. I was like, okay. So I'm like, I jumped out. I'm like, fuck. But yeah, it's just a lot of, well, it also depends on like the climate you jump in, right? Because you're jumping from anywhere from 800 to 1200 feet.
Right. Real quick. My last episode, Daniel, yes, my mic was not synced. And actually, I'm kind of having issues tonight with it. Actually, it sounds fine because I had to change the adapter. I completely unhooked it. So now I'm having to use my damn fingers. But yes, continue.
So you're jumping from anywhere from 800 to 1200 feet up. So obviously there's a temperature change. And also depending on we have airborne units in Italy, North Carolina, and then up here in Alaska. So if you're jumping up here in Alaska in the wintertime, you're freezing your fucking balls off from the moment you put your chute on to the moment you're off the drop zone.
Yeah. That doesn't sound fun. I mean, I would love to jump. I've never jumped out of a plane. I would love to try it.
It's the second biggest adrenaline rush I've ever had.
What's the first?
Getting shot at.
It was an adrenaline rush?
Yeah. And that, see, a lot of people don't understand that concept is like when you're getting shot at least for some people, it's the kill or be killed mentality, right? The kill or be killed kicks in and it's like, okay, now I either run or shoot back, right? So
right.
I got to that point where my first time I was like, well, this really sucks. All right. Because I was face down on the ground, spread eagle, because I had slipped and I had fallen and I fell. I was laying on the ground like this. And one of the gun team members had to grab me and pull me up. And so bullets were like ricocheting all around me. And like, fuck, today is the day, homie. Today is the day. And that day was not the day. But then my next time I was able, to fight back and it was like kill or be killed. And there's hundreds of thousands of men and women that can attest to that adrenaline kicks in, that kill or be killed mentality kicks in. And it's like, and then you get back and all that adrenaline you had is just gone.
Mine is when I hurt myself. And I say this whenever I cut myself or get scratched, fall, whatever, anything, I get like this rush of adrenaline, and I can't sleep, and it's not even that I'm in pain, like it hurts, but I don't like feel it that way. But the small stuff like paper cuts and shit, they bug the fuck out of me. But like if I get like a road rash, or if I hit my side on something or anything, I get like a rush of adrenaline, and I have this full energy for hours. I don't know if it's that gingerness in me, but it's just they do say that we have this weird like tolerance for pain, and I think it's true, man, because I have had some really weird shit, and they're like, "You're fine." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Let's keep going." Shit, I worked with I got a hairline fracture in my foot, and was for like 2.5 months. I was trying to go back to work, and they wouldn't let me. I'm like, "Come on, I'm ready. I can fucking do this."
Yeah, I get an adrenaline rush from when my family, like something happens to my family members. So like, not this past 4th of July, but the one before, we were doing a barbecue out at a park, and two of my 3 daughters were down playing at the riverbank, and my youngest threw a rock and it cracked my oldest right in the head. Dude, and she was bleeding like old girl from Carrie. And all I heard was this blood curdling scream, dude. And I turned around and she was just gushing blood, dude. And I was like, instantly, like that adrenaline rush kicked in. And I forgot that dad mode, all that training that I had in the Army for like, first aid was out the window.
Oh no.
Everything I had learned about a head wound was out the window. And I felt really guilty about it afterwards, but it was that just like adrenaline rush that, holy shit, she gonna be all right. And I mean, thank God she is, but yeah.
No, it is. And actually, when I was a kid I went to church camp.
Yep.
And we were skipping rocks, and I went to skip this damn rock, and this kid walked right in front of me after I threw the rock, and just right over his head, just cut his head open.
Ooh.
And I think I lack sympathy, man. I'm not a very sympathetic person. I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, why did he do that? Not are you okay? Why did you do that?
Yeah. And like 3 weeks ago, my youngest broke her nose skateboarding. Like she was outside and she can't stand. I mean, she's 11 years old, but she's not coordinated enough to stand on a skateboard.
Right.
Why are you going to be on a skateboard if you can't do that? Anyways, she's on all fours and she's pushing herself, and she hit one of the dividers or one of the cracks in the in the sidewalk, and she goes face first into the concrete, man. And I wasn't outside to see it. I was inside, and one of her friends runs over and is like, "You need to come and help her." It's like, "What happened?" "She fell." "Okay, well, I'm thinking she broke her leg."
Uh-huh.
And I go outside and she's nowhere to be found. And I follow these blood trails. And I'm like, oh shit, something's bad. Something really bad happened. I get into the house where she's at, and dude, she's got paper towels full of blood coming from her nose. I'm like, oh shit.
Was she okay?
Yeah, she's fine. She broke her nose, but it was a small break. It wasn't big enough to like require surgery or anything like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
I was climbing the monkey bars, and I was going to get on them backwards on top of the monkey bars, and I was probably 9 or 10, and I fucking tried to get on top of the very first monkey bar and with my ass, and I fell forward and my stomach bent the top ladder. And I could it was one of those things where I couldn't breathe for like 5 minutes. You know, there's that scary like out of breath, can't fucking breathe. Yeah. And I remember I went in my house. I just like walked off. I just went back to my house, and my dad asked if I was okay, and I'm just like, yep. Guess what are you gonna do?
I can't breathe. Help me.
Oh, dude. And then we also had a slip and slide that we had in our backyard, and there was an acorn sticking up underneath the slip and slide. And I slid across it, and it slit my leg open from my ankle up to my knee.
Oh man!
It wasn't a deep one, but it was enough it was like a paper cut all the way up my damn leg. It fucking hurt.
Oh man! When I was younger, my brother locked me out of our house, and we had a storm cellar or a storm room. Walk it off, fucking bitch. But there was like a storm door, and then there was the regular door, and the regular door had 9 glass panels. Mm-hmm. And my brother locked me out of it, and he like opened up the blind or the curtains, and he was taunting me. He's like sitting there laughing at me, and I punched it, and when I punched it, I dropped my hand, and I got a cut right here on my wrist. I didn't notice it at all, and I opened up the door, and his face just went pale white, and I was like, "What's up, man? You okay?" And he's like, "Dude, look at your arm." And I was just shh. And I was like, "Look what you made me do, you piece of shit." You son of a bitch.
Oh man, that's dude. One of these says we've got like 3 or 4 that we haven't read yet, but this says brontophobia, which is a fear of thunderstorms, man. And we have some pretty cool thunderstorms around here. I mean, I guess if you've like witnessed them like do damage,
yeah,
that would make sense. I've never like personally been like, oh, that was scary. I love thunderstorms. I love the sound. Yeah. I love everything about it, man.
I've been so far removed from thunderstorms because we don't have them up here. That like,
does it just rain occasionally? That's it.
It rains a lot. Like this summer, we got. I can count on 2 hands how many dry days we had this whole summer.
No shit. It rains that much.
No, normally it doesn't. I don't know what the fuck happened this year. I don't know what happened this year, but I think that phobia can be linked to like PTSD too. I know my grandpa.
Yeah. Saw my brother through an open door and he went flying through it.
My grandpa was in Vietnam, and he had like anytime a thunderstorm happened, he would just like go into a full panic attack. And I mean, I guess it can be linked to that.
Actually, my buddy Patrick on the 4th of July, he'll get a motel like out where there's not a lot of going on because he said the noises of the explosions remind him of when he was in the military.
Yeah, I don't really have that. I know a lot of guys that do. Unexpected noises scare me. So like if a car backfires, I'll freak out a little bit. Mm-hmm. Like I'll get like a heat wave over me. Mm-hmm. And if I don't know that there's going to be a loud loud noise happening, sure, it scares the piss out of me. But if I know, like 4th of July, I know it's 4th of July. There's going to be fireworks. I can't escape it.
Right.
Fuck it. Why not watch them?
Right.
I like explosions anyways. I signed up to cause explosions.
Explode shit. I like to explode shit.
Yes.
Amethophobia is the fear of vomiting. I don't like to throw up. I feel like there's times where I know that if I don't, I'm not going to feel better. Like, have you ever been sick and you knew, like, man, if I just throw up, I know I'm going to start feeling better.
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely been there.
Mm-hmm. No, it could be the fear of like throwing up because of the physical, like watching somebody throw up and then you throwing up because they threw up. Like the Scary Movie effect.
Yeah. There's something oddly humorous to me about a kid first realizing that they're throwing up and not understanding what it is. Like as a toddler, as a real little kid, you throw up, but they don't get that they're doing it. But then when they hit about 4, 5, 6, up to about 10 years old, and they're real sick and they're throwing up, they're like are terrified because they don't get it. And like you're like, oh, it's gonna be fine. But I slightly like snicker to myself because it's like they're terrified, and I don't remember ever feeling that way. I'm sure it did when I was a little kid, but it's like it happened with both the kids, and I'm just like, man.
Yeah, I find it humorous when people start to announce that they're going to throw up. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to throw up." Like, yeah, I know. Let's come on, just do it already. Get it the fuck out.
You're green in the face, man. I can tell. It's fine. Just do it.
Yeah. You're cold sweating, bro. Just let it go. Let it go. You'll be fine afterwards.
Are you claustrophobic, Al?
No. I know people that are. No, I don't mind tight spaces. I find comfort in them.
I actually thought about using my walk-in closet to do my shows because it's so my wife has clothes everywhere, and I'm like, dude, I can just throw my green screen in there and fucking it'd be so insulated. I can just do it in there.
Yeah, dude, and like it's pretty much soundproof because the clothes dampen the sound.
Orange soda and chicken patties, hands down, one of the worst things. Okay, back in my days of living in a college town, me and 2 other people slammed Goldschlager. And that was hands down the worst for me. Now the idea of peppermint anything just makes me want to throw up.
Yeah. I one drunken night in Vicenza, Italy, not Vicenza, sorry, Florence. We were smoking in like the hotel room we were in. And I put it out in like a cup and like went to bed, fell asleep, woke up. Still dark in the room, and I'm like reaching around, I'm like, oh, here's a water cup. Boom, got cigarette butt stuck in my throat.
I've totally had a drink of cigarette beer or cigarette leftover.
That's not even the worst, man. That's not even the worst. I dip, right?
Yeah. Oh man,
I have 2 dip. Well, three dip occasions. Well, not. I have one. I was spitting in a Mountain Dew can, right? And I had a Mountain Dew next to me, and I didn't check it. I didn't like. You can tell what's spit. Like I can go like this and be like, okay, that's spit.
That is so nasty. You're right.
Yeah. And so I didn't do that, and I grabbed one, and I just boom, and I didn't like stop to take it into my mouth. It just Yeah.
You're grossing me out, man.
See, I'm gonna make it throw up. The second one is my wife got one of my bottles.
Daniel said that I just like to come out of the closet every night after a show. You're right. I do. I love it. It's my favorite. He also said that he is claustrophobic.
And my wife got a hold of one of my spit bottles.
Right.
But the nastiest thing I've ever seen, and this was so fucked up.
You're grossing him out too.
So on deployment, when you're in a truck, right, you can't throw your trash out because your trash, people can use it to create bombs, right? Especially bottles. Like a small bottle can do a lot of damage. Yeah. And so we would take them, we would keep them, throw them away. We had Gatorade bottles. So like one of my gunners was sitting there, he's spitting in it, and I don't know what possessed him, but he's like, I gotta piss, and he pisses in it. and he set it on his gunner stand, and we got by some kids. It was like daylight, and he had like a bunch of Gatorades, and he's taking them and he's throwing them out to these kids, right? And he grabbed the fucking spit piss bottle, tossed it out, and he's like looking at it in the air as slow motion. He's like, no, it hits the ground, and he's like, no, don't. And this little girl grabs it, opens it up, and I was like,
oh, that's gross, man.
And I was like, dude, I hope you can learn to forgive yourself, bro. Dude, that is disgusting.
That is. You see, what is it? Dumb and Dumber, where the officer takes the twist out of the piss bottle, bro.
He's like, get out of here.
Oh man.
He just said it. I know. I looked at him after we got back and I said, I hope you can learn to forgive yourself, because that was fucked up, man.
You hear like people say that like people's facial expressions scar them. The expression on that kid's face would probably have scarred me.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That was fucking. Dude, I didn't watch it because like
the craziest thing for me is my neighbors love to chew, and they also love Coke, and they will spit into the Coke bottle, and I'm like, man, I know that looks just like Coke. How many times have you fucking taken a swig out of those things?
Well, so I mean, like, if I miss it, like I've learned now that I have to like put the drink in my mouth and then swallow it, just to make sure that, even especially in a dark room, right?
Yep.
So I don't spit in any bottle that looks like something that I have been drinking. So if I have a water bottle, like a spit bottle, I'm not drinking a water. I'm drinking out of my Nalgene bottle. If I'm spitting in this, I'm drinking a fucking purple Mountain Dew, not an orange one.
Yeah,
it's color coded. It's got to be color coded.
Oh man! All right, so to wrap this stuff up, I mean, we're going into Halloween, so a lot of these next few episodes that I do this month, not only is it 2 years for Stardom,
that's
which is
fucking
awesome. It is, man. It's a thrill. But this whole month is going to be nothing but shit like this. And I love this topic. I love everything, from paranormal to being grossed out. Like we've kind of touched on all of that in this episode. So this is good, man.
Some shit that makes your skin crawl.
Oh yeah. Man, just taking a swig off your fucking chew grosses me out. The rest of it, I
hope you ate dinner.
I'm just gonna think about the taste of it. And I did.
I hope you ate dinner already. Good.
Good thing you don't have a jizz bottle. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for going there.
Yeah. If I had one, there would be something extremely wrong here.
I would definitely be questioning your sanity if you had a jizz bottle.
I got a story about jizz. Okay. And it's not from me. If you want to hear it, if not, then I'll leave it alone.
Yes, it does make your skin clear. Apparently, that's what they say.
It's also a good hair gel.
Okay. All right, go on with your story before we wrap this up, man.
Okay, so I'm not going to throw any names out there because they're good friends of mine. But
No,
weird shit.
We do not have one.
Yeah, no. So my, I don't know what possesses people to do their deed in a truck while there's other grown men there asleep.
Mm-hmm.
But it happens, and it happened, and somebody used their combat glove to do their deed.
It is what it is, man.
It is what. Well, no. That's not even the worst of it. So he shoves them in his pants, right, and he just leaves them there, and he forgets all about them. And then we're going out to do a road clearing thing because a bunch of rocks had fallen on the road, like boulders. And so they're getting a bunch of infantry cats out there. They're like, "Hey, go clear this road out." And my buddy, I'm not going to say his name, is like, "I don't have my gloves and I need my gloves." So he goes and he's asking around. Nobody has their gloves. And he goes over to my driver and he's like, "Hey, you got gloves?" And dude's like, "Yeah, I do." And he hands them to him. Nutty glove, dude.
Oh, bro.
Stuck his fucking hand right in. It was dry, but still, nonetheless,
nasty, man. I've been to jail a couple times when I was younger. And Yeah, 5 times. But the longest I was in there for was about a month and a half. And it happens. I mean, you got dudes in there that fucking just face the wall.
Yeah, they're just jerking the gherkin, man. And fucking everything's out the window when you're lonely.
Another big news about JG's Lounge and Stardom is actually this Sunday night. I will be live on the rooftop of a bar, and with M-Bomb from the M-Bomb Effect. We're gonna do a live, random interviews with random people, and it's gonna be a good fucking time, man.
That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes. So this will be the first for me.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna watch.
Yes, please do. It's gonna be 7:30 my time. So what's that, like 3 o'clock you or 2 o'clock? I think you're 5 hours behind me, or 4.
No. At 3. I'm 3.
It's currently 9:45 here.
What time is it here? It's 6:45 here. 7:03.
Okay, so 3 hours. Cool.
Yeah.
Daniel says, "Good to see you again, Sean."
Good to see you too, Daniel.
He saw you wink at him.
Yeah, I'm not even shitting you, dude. I'm sitting here looking at this, and I see the fucking picture moving. I'm like, oh shit, he's watching me.
All right, Zapner and Spirit Medium Daniel, guys, thanks to both of you for tuning in tonight. There was a few other people that popped on. Kevin, I appreciate you. And as always, guys, have a good fucking night, and we'll be back.
Much love.
Later, man.